Welcome, everybody, to Game 5 of the 1966 World Series here at Memorial Stadium. It's the Dodgers against the Orioles. It's going to be a replay of Game 2 of the series. Sandy Koufax. And Koufax is 27-9 with a 1.73 ERA, 323 innings pitched. And against Jim Palmer, who is 15-10 with a 3.46 ERA in 208 innings pitched. So seemingly the advantage goes to Koufax, but you never know. So Palmer's going to start off. He's on the mound, and at the plate, stepping in is Maury Wills. We're going to get started right away. Unfortunately, we don't have any dice. I just realized that. I left them in the other room. Palmer checks in for the sign. He sets and deals. And it's a 3-4. It's going to be off Wills' card. A 3-4 is grounded up the middle and through for a base hit. Maury Wills on at first. And batting second is Gilliam, and he's going to bunt. And a 6, that's a successful sacrifice. One away. Over to second is Wills. Here's the pitch to Davis. So 110. A 110 off Davis's card. And that's a split die. That ball is hit deep, and that's going to roll to the wall. Hustling after it is a center fielder, Blair, getting it in, and coming around third is Wills. He scores, and at second base, sliding in is Willie Davis with a double, RBI double, and it's 1-0 Dodgers. That was quick. The Dodgers didn't take a very long time to get going. Here's the pitch to Ron Fairley. 5-9, so it's going to be off Palmer's card. A 5-9 is a split die, line drive, base hit, and around to score is Willie Davis. RBI single for Fairley, and it's 2-0 now Dodgers here in the top of the first. Batting next is Jim Lefevre, the second baseman for the Dodgers. And that's a 5-8. A 5-8 is a split die. That ball is swung on and lifted deep to center field. Back goes Blair to the track, to the fence. He looks up, and that's gone. 2-run shot for Jim Lefevre. And the Dodgers are now up 4-0. And they stand to take this series. They're up 3-1 in the series, so this is not boding well for the Orioles. They expected a lot more from their starting pitcher than 4 hits in the first 5 batters. It's going to be Lou Johnson. The manager is going to go out to the mound and talk to Palmer, settle him down a little bit. But here in the top of the first, it's the Dodgers 4 and the Orioles 0. Okay. Palmer checks in for the sign. It's Lou Johnson at the plate. He sets and he deals. And it's a 3-6. A 3-6 is a swing and a miss, strike 3. That's the second out of the inning. And it's going to be John Roseborough, the catcher, next. And it's a 3-6, and that's a ground ball to the shortstop, Aparicio, over to first. 3 away. But after half an inning, it's going to be Dodgers 4 and Orioles coming to bat. The Dodgers pick up 4 runs on 4 hits, and culminating in the 2-run home run by Jim Lefevre. And leading off for the Orioles is going to be Luis Aparicio. Here's the pitch from Koufax, and it's 3-5. It's going to be off Aparicio's card. A 3-5 is a ground ball up the middle and through for a single. And it's going to be Kurt Blefari. The pitch to Blefari, it's a 4-7. It's going to be off Koufax's card, and that's a strikeout. One away. Next up is Frank Robinson, the Triple Crown winner. And that's a 5-6, a 5-6. And that's a strikeout off Koufax's card. Two strikeouts, 2 outs. And now it's Brooks Robinson. And it's a 2-7. A 2-7 is a hard hit ground ball at Gilliam at third. And he's going to throw it to the second baseman for the force. And after the single, it's 3 up, 3 down. We go to the top of the second. 4-0 Dodgers. In the top of the second, facing Palmer, it's going to be the bottom of the lineup. Wes Parker, the first baseman. 3-9er is going to be a fly ball lifted to left. Blefari over. He squeezes it, 1 away. Now it's going to be Koufax, and Koufax is a 1 batter, so we're going to use the pitcher hitting card number 1. Two-6, and that's a strikeout. Second strikeout for Palmer. Second out in the inning, it's going to be Wills now. And it's a 6-7. A 6-7 off Palmer's card. A 7 is a strikeout. Third out, third strikeout. And we go to the bottom of the second, 4-0 Dodgers. In the bottom of the second, it's going to be Boog Powell against Sandy Koufax. Sandy Koufax is the Triple Crown winner for 66. Wins 27, ERA 173, and strikeouts 317. So a 1-7 is going to be off Powell's card, and that ball is lined into the gap, and that's going to make it all the way to the wall. And chugging over to second base is going to be Powell with a stand-up double. Hit that a ton. First hit off Koufax now, and here's Davey Johnson. It's a 6-7, and that's ball 4. First and second now. It's going to be Paul Blair. That's going to be a 2-7. A 2-7 is a strikeout, third strikeout for Koufax. And it's Andy Etchebarren. Here's the pitch from Koufax. It's a 1-8. A 1-8 off Etchebarren's card. It's a hard hit ground ball at the third baseman, Gilliam. Throws over to second, back to first. 5, 4, 3, double play. And that's all for the bottom of the second inning. We go to the top of the third, 4-0 Dodgers. And in the top of the third, against Jim Palmer, it's going to be Jim Gilliam. Jim Gilliam sacrificed in his first at bat. It's going to be 2-4. 2-4 is a ground ball right back to Palmer. He feels his position. 1 away. Willie Davis doubled in his first at bat, and that's a 2-7. A 2-7 is off Davis's card, and that's a fly ball that's lifted to right field. Frank Robinson got it measured, 2 away, and it's Ron Fairley. Ron Fairley singled in his last at bat and scored a run, and it's a 4-7. It's going to be off Palmer's card, and that's a swing and a miss, strike 3. 3 up, 3 down here in the top of the third. 4-0 Dodgers. We go to the bottom of the third, and it's going to be Jimmy Palmer. Jimmy Palmer, who is a 1 batter, #1 pitcher hitting card. And that's a 5-6 off Sandy Koufax. A 5-6 is a strikeout. 4th strikeout for Koufax. Aparicio next. Here's the pitch to Aparicio. 3-6. 3-6 is a hard hit ball up the middle and through for a single. So Aparicio's 2 for 2. Now it's Kurt Blefari, the power hitting left fielder for the Orioles. Going to wind up in with the Yankees at some point a little bit later in his career. In '66, he batted .255 with 14 doubles, 3 triples, and 23 home runs. Here's the pitch. It's 3-3. It's a ground ball that's chopped to the second baseman, Lefevre, and he goes to Wills, back to first, and Parker with a nice scoop, and it's a 4-6-3 double play for the third out. And after 3 innings of play, it's 4-0 Dodgers. We go to the top of the 4th inning, and it's going to be Jim Lefevre. Lefevre hit a 2-run home run in his first at bat. Here's the pitch. It's 5-10, 5-10. That's going to be a split die, line drive, base hit single for Lefevre. He's on at first. Lou Johnson is going to bunt. And that's going to be a 7. That's going to be a successful sacrifice. Over to second goes Lefevre. 1 down now. And it's going to be John Roseboro. Here's the pitch to Roseboro, and it's a 2-10. A 2-10 to Roseboro is a line drive base hit single. Around third is Lefevre, and he's going to score, and that's an RBI single by the catcher, Roseboro, and it's 5-0 Dodgers now. Wes Parker. It's a 1-5, a 1-5. It's going to be a split die 15, and that's hit up the middle and through for a single. Going to third is going to be Roseboro. First and third, 1 out. It's going to be Sandy Koufax. Here's a pitch to Koufax. It's a 4-5. A 4-5 is ball 4. Bases loaded, and we're going to get a pitching change. Palmer is going to get pulled early. It's going to be Mo Drabowski. Mo Drabowski for Palmer. Mo Drabowski is coming into the top of the 4th with the bases loaded and only 1 out. He'll face Wills and Gilliam to start it off. And here's going to be... The infield's still playing back at this point. They're going for the double play. Here's the pitch to Gilliam. It's a 5-8 off Drabowski's card. A 5-8 is a swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 outs now. And I'm sorry, that was my mistake. I got to look at that again. No, it's off the pitcher's card, so that's good. But it was Wills who struck out. Now it's Gilliam. So 2 outs. And the light-hitting Jim Gilliam, he batted .217, 9 doubles, 0 triples, and 1 home run in 1966. It's 5-0 Dodgers here in the top of the 4th. So we are rewriting history, and that's the most exciting time. 2-6, 2-6, and that's ball 4. So a run comes in. Roseboro scores. To third goes Parker. Koufax to second, and Gilliam gets an RBI walk. And now it's going to be Willie Davis. Willie Davis is 1 for 2 on the day. He doubled in the first inning in that 4-run first. And it's 6-0 Dodgers. Here's the pitch from Drabowski, and it's a 1-9. A 1-9 is going to be a split die, and that's an 18. And that ball is lying in the gap and rolling to the wall. It's going to be Blair runs it down and gets it in quickly, but 2 runs will score. It's going to be 8-0 now, and it's a 2-run double by Davis. Parker scores, Koufax scores. Over to third is going to be Gilliam, so it's second and third now. Drabowski hasn't really been able to get the third out. He came in and struck out Wills, but then he walked with the bases loaded. He walked Gilliam, and now Willie Davis strokes a 2-run double. 8-0. The Dodgers are running away with this game. It's Ron Fairley. It's a 6-9. It's a fly ball lifted to center. Blair. And that's the third out. But the damage has been done in the top of the fourth. And the Dodgers come up with 4 more runs on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. And they lead it by a score of 8-0 now. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Wow, this is a shocker. This is a team that managed, I think they managed 2 runs in the whole series in '66. And they're really knocking the ball out of the park. So it's Sandy Koufax facing Frank Robinson, Brooks Robinson, and Powell. Here's the pitch from Koufax. It's a 1-5 off Robinson's card, and that's flied out deep to center field. Back goes the center fielder Willie Davis to the track, to the fence, and makes the catch. 1 away. Brooks Robinson. And that's a 2-9er, and that's slammed into the gap. And chasing it down is the left fielder Johnson. He gets it in quickly, but it's going to be a stand-up double for Brooks Robinson. 2, 3, 4. So 1 out, runner on second. It's going to be Powell, Boog Powell. Boog Powell, big home run hitter, 287, had a great season in '66. 287, 18 doubles, 0 triples, 34 home runs. So he's got some power. So it's 5-8. 5-8, that's off Koufax's card, and 8 is going to be strike 3. And that's Koufax's 5th strikeout, 2nd out of the inning. This will be Davey Johnson now. Davey Johnson walked his first at bat. 257 hitter. Say 1-6 off Johnson's card. A 1-6 is a chopper to the third baseman, Gilliam. Over to first for the third out, and we go to the top of the 5th inning. 8-0 Dodgers. And in the top of the 5th, it's going to be Drabowski facing Lefevre. Lefevre's 2 for 2. He hit a 2-run homer and singled. So it's going to be Drabowski. Here's the pitch to Lefevre. And it's a 6-10. 6-10 is fly ball lifted to center field. And that's Paul Blair coming over. Blair's a 2. This is an X. So we're going to have to look at the outfielder. We rolled a 5. A 5 is going to be a ball that Blair catches up with. One away now. Lou Johnson. And it's a 2-9. A 2-9 is a fly ball, center field. 2 away. And Roseboro. 3-7, 3-7, ground ball to Powell at first. He takes it himself for the third out. That's 3 unassisted. And we go to the bottom of the 5th, 8-0 Dodgers. And in the bottom of the fifth, Sandy Koufax will be facing Paul Blair, Etchebarren, and the pitcher spot. Don't know if Drabowski will be batting. I doubt it. Here's the pitch to Blair. And it's a 2-3. A 2-3 is ball 4. So Blair is on with a walk. That's the second walk given up by Koufax. Etchebarren. It's a 5-8. A 5-8 is a strikeout. 6 strikeout for Koufax. 1 away. And the pitcher spot. We're going to have a pinch hitter now for the Orioles. It's going to be Sam Bowens. Pitch to Bowens. It's a 1-8. A 1-8 is a ground ball at Gilliam. Across the diamond. Oh, wait a second. There's a runner on first. No, he goes to second. Back to first. Double play. So Bowens comes in to pinch hit for Drabowski and hits into a 5-4-3 double play. That ends the inning. We go to the top of the sixth now. 8-0 Dodgers. New pitcher is going to be Eddie Watt. Eddie Watt for the Orioles. It's going to be Parker, Koufax, and Wills. Here's the pitch to Parker. Parker's 1 for 2. He singled in the fourth inning. It's going to be a 6-6. That's going to be off Watt's card. A 6-6. It's a split die. That ball is lined and caught by the third baseman, Brooks Robinson. Nice catch by Brooksy. It's going to be the pitcher now. Koufax is a 1, so that's going to be, it's off the pitcher's card, a 6-7. A 6-7 is ball 4. And Eddie Watt is not happy about that, walking the pitcher here in an 8-0 game. Wills, 6-10 off Watt's card. 6-10 is a strikeout. That's the third time that Wills has struck out. He's 1 for 4 on the day. Now it's Gilliam, who's 0 for 1. He sacrificed, hit back to the pitcher, and walked. So it's going to be... wait a second. Gilliam. And that's a 5-5, again off Eddie Watt's card. And that's a ground ball. It's chopped to the second baseman. Over to first, and that's the third out. Go to the bottom of the sixth now, 8-0 Dodgers. To be top of the order, facing Sandy Koufax, the Triple Crown winner for 66. There's a pitch to Aparicio. It's a strikeout. Number 7. For Koufax. Lafari. 3-8. It's a ground ball right at the shortstop. Wills over to first. 2 away. It's Frank Robinson now. Frank Robinson's 0 for 2. He struck out and flied out. It's a 2-12, and that's a fly ball lifted to left field. A few steps back is Lou Johnson. Makes the catch. 3 up, 3 down. Go to the top of the 7th, 8-0 Dodgers. It'll be Willie Davis to face Eddie Watt. Davis is 2 for 3. He has 2 doubles and 3 RBIs. Here's the pitch. It's going to be a 1-7, 1-7. That ball is hit up the middle and through for a base hit. So Davis got a leadoff single. It's going to be Ron Fairley now. It's going to be a 5-7. A 5-7 is a strikeout. And it's Jim Lefevre. Jim Lefevre on the day is 2 for 3. He's got a 2-run home run and a single, 2 RBIs on the day. Here's the pitch from Watt. It's off Lefevre's card. A 3-6. A 3-6. It's stroked to the right side and through. Going to second. Davis is going to stop at second. So it's first and second now. Only 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. It's going to be Lou Johnson. It's a 2-5. A 2-5 is lifted to left. Coming over is Blefari for the second out. It's going to be Roseboro now. Roseboro is 1 for 3. He's got an single RBI. Here's the pitch to Roseboro. Runners on first and second. Yeah. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. It's going to be off Roseboro's card, 2-5. That's going to be a split die, and that ball is lined but caught by the second baseman, Davy Johnson, for the third out. And after 6.5, it's Dodgers 8 and Orioles nothing. So it's going to be Brooks Robinson, Boog Powell, and Davy Johnson here in the bottom of the 7th. Now, this is a little bit of a shocker, guys. A little bit of a shocker. The Dodgers scored 4 runs in the top of the 1st inning and then 4 runs in the top of the 4th. And it's mind-boggling in that in the actual series, the Dodgers only managed 2 runs. So, and that's in 4 games. In our series here in the replay, it hasn't been anything like that at all. They've managed a good, strong offense throughout each game, and they've been scoring some runs. They've gotten excellent pitching. So anyway, it's Brooks Robinson. Here's the pitch from Koufax. It's 3-9. 3-9. It's going to be a fly ball lifted to left. Over is Lou Johnson. He squeezes it. 1 away. It's going to be Boog Powell now. Boog Powell on the day is 1 for 2. He doubled and then struck out. What they need is base runners. So it's 6-6 off Koufax's card. And that's going to be a split die line drive base hit for Powell. He's on first with a single. And that looks like the 5th hit allowed by Koufax. Hey there, Al. How are you, man? And Davy Johnson. Dodgers lead at 8-0, bottom of the 7th. Sandy Koufax on the mound for the Dodgers. 1-9, so it's off Davy Johnson's card, and that's a hard-hit ground ball right at Wills. He flips to Lefevre. Lefevre back to first. 6-4-3 double play. So again, that is the 1, 2, 3, 4th double play. So, yeah, holy cow is right. Yeah, like the Browns game. That's right. So this is the 4th double play turned by the Dodgers in this game to support, Sandy Koufax, the Triple Crown winner from 1966, 27 wins, 1.73 ERA, and 317 strikeouts. So we go to the top of the 8th inning now. Top of the 8th inning. It's going to be Watt, who's still in there. And Watt's going to be pitching to Parker, Koufax, and Wills. Eddie Watt. I bring him in all the time. I don't know. I just like the name. Dodger teams couldn't really hit for a lick. Yep, I know. But not in this series. They're hitting away. All right, Wes Parker, and they don't have much going on in their cards. It's not like these cards, are stacked or anything. I mean, there's not much going on. This guy's a 253 hitter, Wes Parker. 4 is going to be off Eddie Watt's card. 6, so that's a swing and a miss, strike 3. That's his 3rd strikeout and 1st out. Yeah. It's the pitcher now. It's Koufax. He's going to bat. He's a 1, so I don't expect much to happen. 3-10. It's a ground ball to Robinson. Across the diamond, 2 away. And it's going to be Wills, Maury Wills. Maury Wills is 1 for 4. He struck out 3 consecutive times. So it's a 3-11. 3-11. That's a fly ball lifted to right. Right fielder Frank Robinson squeezes it. And that's 3 up, 3 down for Watt here in the top of the 8th inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 8-0 Dodgers. And in the bottom of the inning, we're going to see Blair, Etchebarren, and a pinch hitter for the pitcher. They're all facing the Triple Crown winner, Sandy Koufax. Here's Blair. 6-8. That's going to be off Koufax, and that's a swing and a miss, strike 3. 8th strikeout for Koufax. 1 out. And the Etchebarren. Etchebarren's 0 for 2. Grounded into a double play and struck out. It's a 1-6. A 1-6 off Etchebarren's card is a split die. That's lined and base hit single. Etchebarren's on at first. And we had Bowen's pinch hit before. Right now we're going to... Oh, okay. Going to look at Bob Johnson. Bob Johnson's going to pinch hit. So Johnson for Watt. Bottom of the 8th. Here's the pitch to Bob Johnson. And it's a 2-9 off Johnson's card. Probably not much is going to happen. That's a swing and a miss, strike 3. 9th strikeout for Koufax. 2 away now. And it's a leadoff batter, Luis Aparicio, who's 2 for 3. Here's the pitch to Aparicio. It's going to be 6-12, and that's off Koufax's card. And that's a ground ball to the first baseman. Parker takes it himself for the 3rd out. So the Orioles leave 1 here in the bottom of the 8th. And the score is 8-0 after 8 innings of play. 8-0 Dodgers. We're going to have a new pitcher for the Orioles. That's going to be Stu Miller. Stu Miller is going to pitch to Gilliam, Willie Davis, and Ron Fairley in the top of the 9th. See if we can get a... We're going to use the yellow. Okay, so it's going to be Stu Miller. And pitching to Gilliam, Willie Davis, and Ron Fairley. Here's the pitch, 5-8. And it's going to be off Stu Miller's card at 8, and that's a swing and a miss, strike 3. 1 away now. Willie Davis is 3 for 4, 2 doubles and a single. He's driven in 3 runs in this game. Here's the pitch to Davis. It's going to be off Davis's card, a 3-4, a 3-4. That ball is lined and caught by Powell. 2 away. Ron Fairley, 1-4. It's a pop-up to the right side. And Powell calls everybody off. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the bottom of the 9th, and the Dodgers are 3 outs away from winning the 1966 World Series. in a shocking way, shocking the baseball world, if you will. So it's going to be, what a surprise, Sandy Koufax trying for the complete game victory. The complete game victory shutout. All right, it's going to be Kurt Blefari. He's 0 for 3. Struck out, grounded into a double play, and then grounded to the shortstop. Here's the pitch from Koufax. And so off Koufax's card, a 5-8. And that's a swing and a miss. That's strikeout number 10. And the first out here. 10 strikeouts. 1, 2, I'm counting the 2 walks. 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 hits so far for, 2 away. This is mind-bogglingly unbelievable. When I started this series, I looked over the Dodger. I looked at the scores of the games, and then I looked at the Dodger batting order and their roster for this series, and I was like, man, these guys must really, really stink in offensively, you know. But then I looked and I saw, hey, they got Don Drysdale and they have Sandy Koufax. That, wow, if you could win one of those games, Sandy Koufax, would have a chance to pitch again. He did pitch game 2, so it would have had to at least win one. 5th game. This is the 5th game, so yeah, he would have come back in the 5th game. They had Drysdale start the 4th game, so you would get Sandy Koufax in the 5th game again. So anyway, here goes. Here's the pitch from Koufax. It's 1-8 off Frank Robinson, the Triple Crown winners card, and that's a walk. Ball 4. 3rd walk allowed by Koufax in this game. It's going to be Brooks Robinson. Can they turn their 5th double play? Let's see what happens. Here's the pitch. It's off Koufax's card, a 5-4. And that's a split die, and that ball is lined for a base hit. Hustling over to 3rd is Frank Robinson. So 1st and 3rd, runners on the corners here with 1 out in the bottom of the 9th against Sandy Koufax. And there's some action in the bullpen. They're threatening his shutout here in the bottom of the 9th. It's going to be Powell coming to bat. Powell's a big power hitter. In '66, he belted 34 home runs. Batted .287. Here's the pitch from Koufax. And it's going to be off Koufax's card. It's a 6-10, and that's a swing and a miss, strike 3. 11 strikeouts for Koufax, and that's 2 outs. They're 1 out away from a World Series victory, from the Dodgers being World Series champs here in our Stratomatic replay of the 1966 World Series. Here's the pitch from Koufax, and it's a 6-10, and that's a swing and a miss, strike 3, and the Oriole fans fall silent. There's jubilation at the mound and in the outfield for the Dodgers, and you can hear a pin drop in here at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. A shocking turn of events. The Orioles, heavy favorites against the Dodgers, are upset in Game 5 by a score of 8-0. He is the man, boy. He's celebrating. Koufax, Triple Crown winner in '66 with 27 victories, 173 ERA, and 317 strikeouts, goes the distance, shuts out the Orioles, wins 8-0, Game 5. The Dodgers win the series 4-1, and I don't know what to tell you. Crazy, crazy, crazy world of baseball. So let's look at Koufax's numbers. He ends the game with 3 walks. So he goes 9 innings. He gets the win. Second win in the series. Goes 9 innings. Gives up, I have 6 hits, no runs, 3 walks, 12 strikeouts, and just an amazing pitching performance by Sandy Koufax. The series is done. Now we go to, this was 66. I'm trying to play them in order, and well, not really in order. I skipped them because I started with 67. I went all the way to 74, and now I started back to 66. I'm going to go to 65 now. So I think that probably 64 is the earliest I'll go. I think 64, the Yankees playing 64. Was it the Yankees and the Cardinals? Did any of you guys know? I don't remember. But I think the Yankees played 64, and that's the last. Yeah, 67 is there. Absolutely. I think 64, it's the Yankees and the Cardinals, I believe. It's the last year that yeah, they lost to the Cards. Okay, Al. So then that'll be an interesting, because I haven't really played with or against the Yankees, because they have that whole 10, 12-year period there that they don't show up in the World Series again until 76 against the Reds. So I guess they go from 64 to 76, 12 years. I'm pretty sure you're right, Al, but you can double check for me. So they go 12 years without showing up in the World Series, and I guess they were on their decline in 64, but hey, I'd still love to see and play with those guys that played in that period. It would be so exciting. And to learn their stats and to learn, the season and all that. That would be great to do that with the Yankees at least one time in the 60s, 70s World Series replay that I'm doing using History Maker Baseball and Stratomatic. Something interesting about Stratomatic, I'm a late comer to Stratomatic, but I really like that a lot of the results are on the card. That's one part that I love about Stratomatic. I also love that there's a lot of different possibilities in the fielding chart in terms of it's not always an error. Sometimes it's the fielder's range. He just doesn't get to the ball, and it drops in for a hit. I really like that aspect about it. I'll tell you, I'm not crazy about the 50-50 split on the pitching card and batting card. But I'm used to it now, so it's not as bad. At one point, I was uncomfortable with it, but now it's cool. But I really like Stratomatic. I think it's a great tabletop game. I'm playing. These cards only have the basic. You can see that on the back. They're blank. I've played the lefty-righty splits on the newer cards. I have a replay going with the 2016 Mets. And I play the lefty-righty splits, and I use some advanced mechanisms, like I use the ballpark effects. I love those. They're real easy to use. It takes a tad longer to play the game, but not so much that I wouldn't do it. But I love the basic game. It still simulates a baseball game from beginning to end with no problem. The scores are great. I see everything happening as it would in a regular game, right? No, absolutely not, guys. I got this from a guy. I have his card in the other room for the box, the cigar box. There was a guy on eBay, and I tracked him down, and I said, hey, listen, can you make a Shea Stadium like 70s? Yeah, okay, the Yankees. The Yankees in 64 against the Cardinals. Cool. Yeah, super advanced. Oh, man. Okay, well, I don't know if I did super advanced. I went from basic, which I played 2 times, and I said, I need a little bit more. I want the lefty-righty splits, because especially during this period, I don't know how important it is, because I don't remember as a kid being so aware of lefty-righty splits like we are now, that where they bring in a lefty to face a lefty, then a righty to face a righty, then a lefty to face a lefty. But anyway, the cigar box, yeah, I just asked the guy about the cigar box. And I asked him to make me a 70s Shea Stadium, and he made it. And somebody actually, he posted it. He tried to get a hold of me, and he couldn't because I was at work that day, and then I did something late that night, and he posted on eBay, and somebody else bought it. So then he made me another one, and it was on eBay for a while and just sitting there, and I said, you know what, that's the one I wanted. And I made him an offer. I guess he couldn't refuse, and I got it. So I'm rolling the dice on a Shea Stadium. And you know what's fascinating about Shea Stadium? I lived for 25 years basically a mile away from Shea Stadium. And out here where you see the parking lot, you can see that right out here. I don't know why I don't see my hand out there. Anyway, wherever you see the parking lot, that's where I used to ride my bike. Right outside there, there's a park called Flushing Meadow Park right behind, not on the parking lot side, but on the opposite side of Shea Stadium. There's something called Flushing Meadow Park, and I used to ride my bike and do 10 miles a day out there. And then I'd ride home. I was about a mile and a half from the house. So I have a lot of memories of Shea Stadium, and I used to work not far, right outside on the other side of the parking lot there. I used to work there. Yeah, crazy, right? And I used to work not a mile from Shea Stadium as well. So it brings me childhood memories, and driving right by it and looking over and seeing, the stadium, the Art Deco Shea Stadium, which was very, very cool. I really appreciate it now. And that was my last year, and actually the year they built Citi Field, 2008, was my last year in New York. And I moved out west, and that's a story. That's my personal, a little bit of my personal story right now. So the next series we're going to play is 1965 World Series using History Maker Baseball. I have no idea who those teams are. Right? Let me look at quickly who the teams are. Let's see, 1965 World Series. Okay, 1965 World Series. Oh, goodness gracious. The Dodgers against the Twins. So we will have Sandy Koufax on the mound once again. I don't know if you can notice the excitement when I just think about and say his name and consider his amazing pitching ability. Just mind-boggling, these numbers, 27 and 9. That's crazy, man. With a 1.73 ERA. I mean, that beats Seaver's year, which I'm so impressed with, in '69, where I think he's 25 and 7 or something to that effect, with a 2.20 ERA. This is like half a run less than that in 323 innings pitched. Just mind-boggling. So it's the Dodgers of Minnesota. We're going to use History Maker Baseball, which is a lot of fun. It's a blast. I'm going to use the cards, FACs for that, fast action cards. And then we'll see what develops after that series. 64, I don't know who I have. If I have 64 in Strat, if I have 64, I kind of go from game to game depending on who I have the years for. So I got this set of great teams or World Series teams or whatever, cheap, secondhand. So that's how I'm using all these Strat cards. But there's some years that they don't have both sides for, so I got a little frustrated with that, and I ended up having to just jump to another, which is fine. I don't mind. I love History Maker Baseball. That's going to be a lot of fun doing that. So anyway, that's the story for tonight. So the Dodgers win the World Series, the 1966. We rewrite history together. They win it in 5, and they stunned the Memorial Stadium crowd in Baltimore. They beat Jim Palmer 18-3, 3 games, but the Red Sox have lost all of them. Well, you know what? Yeah, that's the nature of the beast. I've always felt that the Yankees, the '95 Yankees, it was the last year that Mattingly played with them, that they had some tough luck, and they could have done better against the Mariners. But I've played it a bunch of times, and the same thing happens. The Yanks lose every single time. They have actually no chance against the Mariners, who have decent pitching but have way above average hitting. So sometimes with some teams, no matter how much you love them, it's just in reality they didn't have a good enough team to kind of beat the other team they faced, and you just have to accept that. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That was I remember watching that series, and it was depressing. So I always wanted to replay that, and I've tried to replay it twice so far, and the Yankees just are just disappointing, for lack of another word. Just very disappointing. Offensively, they can barely get a hit. Yeah, yeah, man. Imagine he would have played a couple more years and been on those amazingly great teams as a pinch hitter, as a defensive first baseman, as a part-time player. Man, he deserved it because he was a tremendous player. He had a lot of back issues towards the back end of his career. I think he retired when he was about 30, what, 35, I believe. And guys can easily play until they're 40, especially a first baseman. And his swing was built for Yankee Stadium, but it is what it is, and we move on. But I'm really into the 60s and 70s teams. I love the fact that you can leave. I don't have to make 10 pitching changes all the time, right? Yeah, Expos. I don't. I'm not. Don't know too much about the Expos. I do know that in '69 they had a really good team and they did well. They were up there in the standings. I think they were like 90 and 70 or something to that effect in '69. I don't know about the other Expos teams. Um, I know some guys love the Expos. '94 they were loaded. Yeah, yeah. Is that the year they had Andre Dawson? Or I don't know. They had like a really fast outfield one year. Can't remember who they had in '94, but anyway, that's all we got going tonight. Now we got to plan out our next series. I got to start pulling the cards out of the history maker set and tearing the cards up and setting that up. So that ought to be fun. We ought to start tomorrow with that. No problem, man. It's my pleasure to talk to you guys, and hope you had fun watching this crazy replay of the '66 World Series. '66, the year the hovercraft service begins. It's China's Cultural Revolution. New York City subway strikes shuts down New York City. Mini skirts are in fashion. And on a sad down note, Charles Whitman goes on a killing spree at the University of Texas. The Tower Shooter, there's a couple of movies that have been made about that. That all happens in 1966. So I get a chance to learn about all that stuff when I go into these seasons. And the United States has 500 troops in Vietnam in '66. So anyway, all right. Kurt Russell played him. Oh, really? Oh, that's right. That's right. That's a great movie. I remember watching that movie when I was a kid. I was like, wow. And I don't think I was aware that it was actually, I would have been freaking out. But it was, yeah, Kurt Russell. A young Kurt Russell plays Charles Whitman. Man, that was tragic. Super tragic. My daughter goes to Texas State. And she's coming back to UTSA here in San Antonio. She's transferring over, and that's like across the street from my house. So it's going to be good to have her nearby. I was trying to get out of the Disney movie mode. Yeah, wasn't he the Herbie? The Herbie driver, the Herbie, the speed, the race car driver, and the Herbie, and he kind of beats all the other cars because he's got this magic car. Isn't that Kurt Russell? Right? I think that was him. I remember watching those movies when I was a kid, and I was like, this is cool. I love this movie. Escape from New York. Yes, Escape from New York. That's right. What was his name in Escape from New York? He had the eye patch. Um, what was his name? His Snake Plissken. Oh, that's it. Snake Plissken. Man, he made a name for himself. Okay, guys, that's it. Snake Plissken.